Hi there. Welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Josh. I'm a teacher with the LSAT Demon. With me, Nathan Fox, co-founder of the Thinking LSAT podcast and LSATdemon.com. Today, we've got an email from Savea. Subject is about reading comprehension passages.
Cool. Savea says, hello, Ben and Nathan. I started at a 144 and recently practice tested with a 158 score. So I've increased a good amount since I began, thanks to you guys. I've improved a lot in reading comp, but have still never finished all 4 passages in a section. I watched a lesson that helped me get better at understanding and predicting main point questions, which then, I think, helped me understand other types of must be true questions. But I feel like the author's tone or questions about what the author thinks always stump me. I know that most of these questions are must be true as well, and maybe I just suck at reading, but I find it difficult to pick out what the author would agree with unless it's a passage where the author is specifically trying to convince us of or against an idea. And that's coming from Savea. What do you think, Josh, as an LSAT teacher? What would you say to a student like this?
The first hesitation I would have, scoring a 158 seems to indicate to me that, they mention the concern about not getting to all 4 passages. A 158 indicates that they're probably not getting all answers of the first 3 passages correct either. So I wouldn't worry even right now about the fact that you're not making it to the fourth passage. Your priority should be the first 2 passages, first 3 passages.
Yeah, I was going to say, I might take it a step further, that not only should Savea never be doing all 4 passages, but I'm not totally convinced that you should even be doing 3 passages. If 158 is kind of where you're maxing out, you just don't need to do, you don't even need to do 3/4 of the test to score higher than that. What you do need to do is answer every question that you attempt correctly. So I think that slow down even more, understand even more of what you're reading. The questions will get easier and easier. Eventually, you'll have no problem with speed because you'll actually understand what you're doing. But for now, Savea, today, there's a lot you're not understanding. And if, this idea that you think 4 passages is a good goal for you, it's not. Right now, that's not a good goal for you. Maybe if you were scoring 168, then okay, to crack the 170s, you might need to work on some of that 4th passage. But boy, to get to 165, you just do not need to do a 4th passage.
I completely agree. And the thing that I notice here, and I with a 14-point jump, Savea's already made incredible improvement on the LSAT. So congratulations in that regard.
Yep.
What I see happen for the students from time to time, especially with reading comprehension, is they'll take our advice to slow down and they'll engage with each individual sentence, but then they lose the big picture because they make sure they understand the sentence and then they move on. And that sentence just kind of goes out of their head. And so they might get little details right, but they never take the time to stop after the first paragraph and say, okay, who is giving this argument? What is this person like? Where is this being written? Why do they care about this? Taking the time to engage with the bigger picture of it as well. How did the second paragraph interact with the first one? That's where the tone and the purpose comes into play. And so many students read slower, but then don't realize that you need another minute or so to stop and engage with those big picture questions as well.
Yeah, students think they need to read faster, but they really just need to read better. They need to get more of the flavor of like why this document exists. To me, I mean, I don't even really notice question types on reading comp. To me, it's like, well, they wrote this because they're trying to prove a point. So their primary purpose is to prove their point. And their attitude is that they have a primary purpose of proving their point. What's their main point again? Like, what do they want? What are they trying to sell me here? Because like, I can't let go of that. I think like half of the questions are basically just main point questions in disguise. There is one type of question that I'm sure Savea is struggling with, which new students and even continuing students will sometimes struggle with this type of question. When it says, it can be inferred from the passage that the author would be most likely to agree with which one of the following. Savea and others think that that means that you're being invited to speculate, but they're really just inviting you to infer from the passage. From the passage. What did it say in the passage about this topic? You're not supposed to just be inventing ideas that the author might be most likely to agree with on a different day. No. What did they say today in this passage about that issue? And if you might have to go back and reread a little bit of the passage. Oh, what did the author exactly say about this part of it? But then you should find that there's an answer that is supported by the text. Yep. There's got to be evidence in the passage to support the idea that the author agrees with this. Not just that they would be likely to agree. Based on what? Well, based on the passage. So what did it say about this in the passage? You'll realize that these questions are not speculative at all. It's just a fancy way of asking you, again, what did it say in the passage?
I play a game with my students when they try and argue with me specifically on those question types. When they say, well, I really think it should be this. I say, let's both pull out a sentence from the passage and see who supports it better. And I haven't lost the game yet. So
you never will. You never will. They need these questions to be legally defensible, right? I mean, there's one right answer and 4 wrong answers because their customers are just a bunch of lawyers and they don't want to get sued by their customers. So they make it so that the questions are fairly straightforwardly rooted in the evidence that's on the page. And a lot of students miss that, right?
Flavors of must be true. They all are.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Savea, for writing in. Please email daily@lsatdemon.com if you would like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.